natural disasters like earthquakes and floods, socioeconomic disparities, and geopolitical complexities. So the region's vulnerability to disasters, for example, as we witnessed this year, unfortunately, the earthquakes in Turkey, Syria, and Morocco, also the floods in Libya, underscores the critical need for cities to fortify their infrastructure and emergency response systems. So our gathering today not only serves as a platform for knowledge exchange, but also it's a catalyst for rethinking and reimagining our infrastructure systems. So with a keen eye on the long-term impacts of climate change, so I will stop for a second because there's a problem in translation, in the interpretation. So our gathering here today is not only serves as a platform for knowledge exchange, but also it's a catalyst for rethinking and reimagining our infrastructure systems. With a keen eye on the long-term impacts of climate change, our objectives is to foster a forward-looking perspective that delves into nature-based solutions and collaborative initiatives involving multiple stakeholders. So first, I would like, before we start our discussion, I would like to introduce our speakers. We have panelists who are participating with us online and in person. Welcome, everyone. So we have in person Ms. Ilaf Raslan, is a multidisciplinary urban planner and researcher with over 10 years of experience in the field of urban development. She's currently working in UNDRR Regional Office for Arab States as the focal point for MCR 2030, where through the program, she supports cities in developing local resilience action plans through the multiple thematic scorecard, including but not limited to the disaster displacement scorecard. We have also online, did they connect, by the way, our panelists online? Helena.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Welcome, Helena. So we have also online with us, Helena Montero is the Global Engagement Lead of the GAFON GCOM Partnership, overseeing external relations and partnerships to help cities access GAFON technical support. She is an urban resilience expert with a track record of managing projects with local governments and international organizations in Europe and Latin America. In person with us, we have Ms. Ibro Arguner, graduated from Environmental Engineering Department of Istanbul Technical University. She has expertise in project management, especially for sustainability projects, greenhouse gas emission inventory calculation, preparation and monitoring of action plans. So before working in Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, she was working on the localization of sustainable development goals. She is now working as project manager for sustainability project at the Climate Change Directorate of Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality for 5 years. We have also online with us Dr. Muhammad Salahin is a professor of integrated planning and design and director of integrated urbanism and sustainable design at Ain Shams University in Egypt. He brings extensive experience in strategic planning, development, and international cooperation with a focus on sustainable urban designs. So as we notice here, we have our panelists from academia working closely with local governments and also other partners and institutions who also work on the ground and very closely with local government, especially on the topic of climate change. So let's start our discussion. I will just sit. So I would like to start with Ms. Ilaf Raslan to talk about the cross-stakeholder initiative of MCR 2030. So Ms. Ilaf, could you introduce the initiative of MCR 2030 as well as its objectives, strategies, and how can cities effectively integrate resilience into their planning process through collaborative initiatives like MCR? And also, we would like you to share some challenges you encountered through or on the way of implementation of such initiative. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So MCR, or Making the Cities Resilient 2030, is a unique initiative with a multi-stakeholder platform. But it's led by UNDRR, the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. We have multiple partners like UCLG-MEWA. We have other partners like UNDP, UN Habitat, World Bank, JICA, and so on. We have a myriad of partners with us. We focus mostly on building the capacities and working with cities on developing their local resilience action plans in terms of trying to reduce the impact also of hazards and disasters on these cities. The program is shaped based on the Making Cities Resilient campaign that occurred between 2010 and 2020. During this phase, we were working on raising awareness and on the topic of DRR. And through that, we came up with really important key lessons that we tried to reflect on the current initiative and how it's shaped. One of the key components that we found out through that is that cities better learn from one another. Each city is on a completely different stage when it comes to building their own resilience. Some cities already have enough awareness and they just need support in developing plans. Some of them already have the plans and they are already implementing it due to the frequent hazards that they have been facing across the years and decades. We also learned that cities do need some concrete tools that they can implement in order to enhance their own resilience and develop these plans, and that they need some technical supports every now and then in terms of trying to shape these plans and these actions as well. So when we decided to develop the MCR 2030 initiative as it is, we decided that we had to create a sort of a dashboard for cities to access multiple partners. They can access academia, they can access private sector, they can access other cities that face similar hazards or different hazards from all around the globe. The MCR 2030, we have focal points in all of the regions. We have focal points in the Arab states. We have focal points in Europe and East and Central Asia, Asia Pacific, Africa, and so on and so forth. And when we decided to access this dashboard, cities sign up for free. They do a simple assessment which puts them in one of the stages. Stage A is that you need to know more. That means we need to work with you on raising awareness, or you can do it on your own. The staging is designed that we give you also key elements that you can start working on even without our interference. If you're in stage B, that means you need to start planning better. If you're in a stage C, that means you need to implement whatever you have designed already, and we can support you throughout this entire process. After that, as I mentioned, you can access everyone through the dashboard. And then we can also work with you on several tools. As I mentioned, from the campaign, cities did need some tools, and hence we decided to develop what we call the scorecards. The scorecards' main objective is to highlight some of the gaps and help you develop this action plan. So, for example, it's based on something we called the 10 essentials that we developed through the campaign. through, let's say you need to enhance some of your governance structure, for example. We give you a list of questions, and based on that, you score yourself, you highlight the gaps, the action needed, and also the stakeholders that you would like to see on board of this action plan. So by the conclusion of the workshop, which is a multi-stakeholder workshop, we have everyone from the city, we invite civil society, academia as well to participate in order to have this kind of dynamic, informative workshop that develop this action plan. And depending on the governance structure of your country, you have to get it validated from the national government, or you start implementing. It really depends on how the governance structure of the country. And we try to support you also through accessing some of our partners. So for example, we had a workshop, for example, in Tunisia on wildfires, where our colleagues from GCOM and colleagues from Helena's team, they joined in and they helped explain the program and how these cities can access their funding and so on. And this is what we try to do throughout the program. The initiative is to try to bring relevant stakeholders in these workshops to also show the local governments you have partners that can help you achieve your resilience depending on what issue you're facing. Our scorecards range from climate resilience, early warning, to one's general on disaster, on displacement. It really depends on your need and your most pressing issues that you are facing. That being said, I want to reflect a little bit on the challenges that we have been facing a little bit when we are trying to develop these action plans. As I mentioned, each city, of course, is in a different stage. Some of them are aware of the disasters or the hazards that they're facing. Some don't. And I think this is one of the things that we have an issue with, is that there is a need for further awareness. Some people from the municipality are very much aware of what is DRR and how to integrate it already in your local resilience action plans, but other cities or other members of the municipality could not know that. So this is one of the things that we really try to work on when we're doing the workshop, is try to bring everyone together on the same common ground on what is DRR, what are the hazards, why is this important, and why this issue is crucial. We also try to, another component that I think we also tackled today a little bit extensively is data. Data is very, very, very crucial, especially loss and damage, especially on the displacement, on a lot of things. And we do understand that some of the data come from the local level and are shared at the national level, but sometimes on the local level, we are not able to access this data due to security barriers and so on. So this is something we also try to bring whatever is available to try and support the development of these action plans to be evidence-based. Another issue that we sometimes face is that, unfortunately, local governments sometimes neglect or I wouldn't say neglect, I would say that they are not taking into consideration the slow onset effects of climate change. So for example, if we look at cities in Iraq, for example, we find due to the rise in the temperature, their water resources are drying up quite fast, and which affects the pastures, affects agriculture, which will inevitably affect the food security of these cities. So there are some slow onsets that we are still unable to focus on in a way. And I think another issue that we also face is having a mechanism to integrate the collaboration with private sector and academia. Even though we have academic institutes and researchers and civil society signing up on the dashboard for MCR, where cities can access them, there's still further effort that could be done in order to include academia. I think some of the recommendations that have been developed or been suggested is having, for example, platforms on a city level where researchers can upload their research and work with the cities on implementing these kind of research, or sometimes even having like competitions from the universities to try and implement something that is related more to climate resilience and because usually research takes into consideration, best practices, and so on. So try to bring that further to the cities, but I will let also Dr. Muhammad Salahin to further elaborate on the role of academia on the topic. And I also want to highlight the aspect of national to local level integration. So national levels, there are a lot of times where we see the national government having certain strategies regarding to DRR, but it's not really trickled down to the local level. And sometimes the local needs or the local government's needs are not being voiced up or being able to reach the national level. And I think this is one of the platforms where we can highlight the need to bridge this gap a little bit and try to bring it together. One last topic, and I'll conclude from that, is financing. And I know we tackled it with cities having their own revenues coming from taxes and so on, but still sometimes they're not always sufficient to try and bring international expertise into the city. So I think this is also something that we start to look into, and I think ASCO's work on the urban economy resilience could come into place also with cities to try and enhance this financing mechanisms that are not always available for local level. It's usually available on the national level, but they don't still trickle down to, at least they could be trickling to major cities, but the smaller cities that are facing a lot of other hazards, it's not really trickled down on that. I want to conclude that it's not a bleak topic. We still have 6 years to implement the Sendai framework and the SDGs, but these are things that maybe in the next remaining years till 2030 to try to bring on the table, to try to accelerate and try as UN agencies and also local level to try to make these concerns heard on the national level and try to push it forward and push this agenda forward. Thank you. This is all.
Thank you, Ilaf. Thank you for this comprehensive explanation of the MCR. And from here, I would like to encourage also cities to be part of this important initiative. We can share information with you if you like after the session about this initiative of MCR 2030. So next, I would like to address my question to Dr. Muhammad Salhin. He's online with us.
Yeah, hello, Dr. Reem. Hi.
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, thank you for being here with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I hope to join you in person, but maybe next time.
Yeah. So my question for you is, how do you see the role of integrated planning in building climate resilient infrastructure? What challenges have you encountered in promoting sustainable design, and how can collaboration between academia, government, and international agencies be optimized to address these challenges and foster resilience in urban development?
Many questions, but I'll try to be brief
Many questions,
and informative. I think when it comes to your first point on the role of integrated planning in building, we can look at that from two perspectives. One is methodological, which is more related to policy making, and the other one is practical and more related to decision taking. So if we look first at the methodological way of integrating integrated planning in building, we see that the role of integrated planning is, first of all, to ensure the best use of resources. If we go for sectoral planning versus integrated planning, sometimes resources, or actually in most cases, resources are being wasted. There are overlaps, there are losses, there are redoings, and so on. So integrated planning ensures that we use our resources in the best way. Then another very important aspect is integrated planning ensures that society is part of the plan. So it ensures social inclusiveness. It does not take the plan away from the society or the community in charge or in the perspective, but rather keep them at the focus and possibly also part of the decision-making process. Third, I think it also minimizes the negative environmental effects of any plan or any execution that we have. And looking at the time factor, usually projects are bound to their time of execution, but integrated planning also takes time into perspective, so it ensures the dynamism and time factor being implemented and thought of and included in the planning in the design process. What does it mean practically? So when it comes to decision taking, it means timely execution and coordinated results. With integrated planning between, for example, infrastructure, building houses, providing services, capacity building for health providers, and so on, you ensure that you have the timely execution, so not one is delayed because of the other one is delayed or not starting yet. And you ensure that the results are being captured when they are ready, not waiting for others to be ready. So that's on practical side. Also, you ensure the maximum return on macroeconomy. What does it mean, macroeconomy? It's the economy of a whole nation, not the economy of one sector. If you build a road, you have a toll for that road. You ensure certain income from that. But if you did not develop the destinations, if you did not develop the area side, trips are not as expected. Income is much less than planned. Maintenance is not as expected. Road deteriorating, and so on. It's a cycle of, successes versus sometimes, in some cases, failures. It also ensures a optimized overall quality. If you have the integrated plan approach being used for a building, and you included the issue of energy efficiency, user acceptance and performance, and so on and so forth, and factors like maintenance, you ensure that the quality that you use is the one needed for the user, needed for the maintenance, is a system around, is all installed properly. Last but not least, it ensures that there is a balance between the capital cost and the operational cost. That aspect specifically is very crucial for our sustainable building design. For example, in architecture, end users, sometimes they have been attracted to the price tag, to the ticket price, to the capital cost, reducing the capital cost and really ignoring the fact that by sometimes reducing the capital cost, you increase massively the operational cost, which is taking place over time. And that's a very important practical aspect of integrated plan. By that, I spoke briefly on the role of integrated planning and what are the values that we can gain from applying it both practically and methodologically. Then, if we talk about the challenges that face promoting sustainable design, first and foremost, I think environment is in many cases seen as a secondary pathway, is not seen as objective in itself. Preserving the environment, dealing with the environment is considered as a byproduct. Its impacts are secondary to the economic and political impacts. And that's a big hinderer. Environment should be put in the first place, in the first decision-making layers, not being considered or studied later on and thinking of environmental impacts as if we took the decision and now we're dealing with the impacts. This is not the way to deal with sustainable design. If you really like to promote sustainable design and sustainable solutions, you need to put the environment at the forefront, not in the background. Then, if we think of what are other practical challenges when it comes to promoting sustainable design and sustainable solutions, It results mainly from it expects readiness of stakeholders. So if you'd like to promote sustainable design, that expects readiness from different actors. And who are the actors that we have? We have different actors in the arena of our built environment. In many cases, they have different and sometimes conflicting agendas. I'll briefly try to point out few of them. So we have the actor of the policymakers. The policymakers, they are more interested in the political agenda and on the policy reform, on the overall impact of that policy on the on national, international level. The second would be decision takers, those who are taking decision for implementing certain project, adopting certain program, and they try to follow policies, but they are more guided by executive agenda, the agenda of practically bidding projects, completing projects, availing fund, financial closure, success stories, and so on and so forth. So that's another agenda. Then comes afterwards the planners and designers. And planners and designers are mainly adopting the agenda of the norms and standards, the ideal design solution, ideal design process, approach, product. And that sometimes conflicts with the executive agenda. And in many cases, it conflicts with specifically their economic and time aspect. Third, after designers, you have the layer of implementers and executors, contractors, those who are building, who are establishing projects and so on. And they are very sensitive to cost and time efficiency. So that's another agenda, but only focuses on that, cost and time. And then we have the last tier in the ones I'm presenting or talking about today, and which is a crucial one, which is a tier of the end users. Those who are actually using the products of we offer them as planners, architects, guided by the executors, under the political agenda and being implemented by contractors. And they are mainly guided by feasibility. They are guided by comfort, image, practicality. And in many cases, these aspects are not being promoted properly, are not being understood. End users sometimes are not well informed about aspects of long-term feasibility versus capital feasibility. So if you see the 5 agendas, they are, each one is pulling the process of building our cities and building our buildings in different directions. And in order to ensure sustainable design, you need actually to reach the balance between these different agendas. It has to be a win-win-win-win-win situation. And it's not easy. You need a platform in which these 5 agendas are communicating, being negotiated, some trade-offs being taken place, and some understanding of the agendas of the others. Last but not least, the question on the collaboration between academia, government, and international agencies. I think this is a key factor in the success. Why? They have different agendas, yet they are not conflicting in any way. These 3, they have really complementing agendas. Academia, they represent the neutral voice, neutral player who is actually at the same distance from all. They're not promoting or adopting a political agenda. They are not in the position of execution agencies. They are not contractors. They can be designers and planners, but as academia, they also have their value system as academia. They also never an implementers or executors, and they also represented themselves part of the society. Yet, again, the value system of academia prevailed. So they have that neutral voice. International agencies, from the other side, on the other hand, they represent the international voice, the international position towards common agenda, common issues, common challenges, possibly also being sensitive to common solutions that will be accepted by most. So it adopts that notion of systemizing, cross-referencing, learning from that case to another one. So it brings a whole wealth of knowledge and a whole wealth of transnational, transdisciplinary expertise to the academia, which welcomes that a lot, and they can cooperate extensively together to develop their own agendas. Then come the government, which both cannot act without. Government, at its sense of decision takers, a mix of decision takers and policymakers, you cannot deal without them. You cannot, I would say it's an ipso facto that you need to cooperate with the government, and you need to build the bridge with the government to make sure that whatever you've been doing on the academia, first of all, is coming from practical premise. You understand the situation, the context properly, and the solutions or recommendations are being put on the table, has some grounds to be implemented. So it's not only an academic exercise, not like a hypothetical or just an idea situation. If academia focused on the ideal situation and not focused on practicality, then I think they are not meeting their societal mandate of really helping the society to promote and to move forward. And if they only focused on the national agenda, not cooperating with the international agencies, it's also failing in meeting the expectations on the international level, especially that environmental challenges are not locally specific only, but they are also globally bound and globally reflected. Yeah, that's it from my side, Dr. Reem. I hope it was not too long.
Thank you, Dr. Sarhin. I thank you for this contribution and all the information. Actually, I want to reiterate on the importance of social inclusiveness, and because local government are the closest level to citizens, so they should take into consideration that community should be part of decision making. And I had the pleasure actually to meet with you in person in the Global Resilience Forum.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to read.
Dubai, and I had also the pleasure to hear from you the projects you implemented as a professor in a university, actually working closely with the local government and on many projects about resilience and like disaster risk reduction also. And you have many examples to share, I know. So I hope we can meet with you in person in other occasions for knowledge exchange, hopefully. Thank you so much.
It will be my pleasure, Dr. Reem. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we also have now online with us Miss Helena Montero. Hello, Helena.
Hi, Reem. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for participating with us. My question for you is about the GAF fund. So could you please provide us with information about the operational mechanics of the GAF fund and its partnership with GCOM? So how does it work? How does the GAF fund identify cities for technical support? What criteria are employed? And also can also share some examples related to some projects implemented related to climate resilience infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Reem. That's a great question, and thank you so much for this space to talk a little bit about the GAP Fund. It's a great pleasure to come after Professor Mohammed and also Elaf, who is a former colleague. I come from UNDR working with resilience. And same as the Making Cities Resilient 2030, the GAP Fund is a global initiative. It's a global partnership because we know that one organization cannot do everything by themselves. So I have a few slides, if that's okay for me to share my screen. Let me know if you can see the screen. Can you see? I think it's loading. Yeah. Okay. So the City Climate Finance Gap Fund is a technical assistance. So it is not a fund for implementation, but it's a technical assistance that is implemented by the European Investment Bank and the World Bank with the support of several city organizations such as the Global Covenant of Mayors, C40, ICLEI, the City's Climate Finance Leadership Alliance, and it's only possible due to the generous contributions from the German and the Luxembourg governments. Like I said, it's when we think about climate finance, and we heard Elaf saying that this is a component that is very important. Cities have a lot of support help doing their climate action planning, their resilience strategies, but sometimes they are left to fund by themselves this very early stage project preparation. So they come out of all of this process. Let's say they have the support of the scorecards with UNDR, or they're working with ICLEI on building their resilience strategy, and they are left with a lot of really good ideas, but these are not ready to fund projects. So this is this project definition, the final stages of planning and the early stages of pre-feasibility studies, data collection, everything that you need to know that to call it a project, these are left for the city to fund by themselves, because it's usually the riskier part, and the multilateral development banks and the mechanisms that are in place, they see it as a risky moment to invest. And sometimes, especially in developing countries, this can amount to up to 10% of the total cost of a project, only this early stage project preparation. So that's why the Gap Fund can be a game changer. So we work with technical assistance to cities during this project preparation. The idea is that we enable cities to then have a project in hands and then be ready to seek for funding. We try to bridge this gap between the ideation, like the ambition that the cities have, and the implementation. Our idea is to generate a high-quality urban investment project pipeline, so that everyone working on climate finance can understand and know where to find the projects to fund. And also, I think that we all here working with UCLG, we're all great believers in the power of the peer learning of the network. So we're all also trying to share this kind of opportunities and lessons learned from the cities. And what kind of support does the Gap Fund provide? So we work with the very specific city climate strategy development. So we do analytics to assess everything that is doing a prioritization of investments. So if a city already has some sort of climate action planning or resilience strategy, we help them assess and prioritize these investments based on their impact. We work with cities to build capacity so that they learn how to prepare their projects for investments. We work a lot in the definition of project concepts. So really, the city comes to us and say, well, I want to do some sort of project in my schools, retrofitting, putting some solar panels and improving the insulation, but they don't know how much it's going to cost, which schools will be suitable, where are these schools. So we help them with that, understanding exactly what is the procurement that needs to take place for that to happen, how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take. What is the financial structuring that we need to put in place? And also throughout this process, we're trying to matchmake these cities and these projects with further support with either other project preparation facilities or with donors that are ready to fund and support this project. Who can apply? Who can make use of this technical assistance? So we work with developing and emerging countries So we work with the countries on the OECD DAC list of recipient. So many countries in North Africa, many countries in the Middle East are eligible. We're working with Morocco, we're working with Tunisia, we're working with Jordan. So we really encourage countries to apply. We are looking for projects that have a climate action potential. And by this, I want cities to be very ambitious and very comprehensive, because even when we're talking about, and we saw this during the pandemic, when we're talking about a project that is related to health, this is something that we can work on making our cities better for health and improving the climate. I'm going to talk a little bit about the sectors in a while. We're looking to work with cities on urban context. So obviously a municipality that is in a rural community, they can also apply, especially if they work with a larger municipality, or if the effect of their project will be in an urban area. Because we see and we know this, we've been working with cities for many years, we know that that's where we have the opportunity to really tackle emissions and tackle climate change. Like I said, we work with this very early stage project preparation, so strategic planning, project concept, up to the stage of pre-feasibility. And we're looking to work with the local authority. So we're looking for projects that are endorsed by the mayor, that they have this local ownership. Obviously, we know that cities are working with different organizations, with different partners, and we encourage these partners to work with the municipalities in a joint applications. But we need to have in mind that it's the city that is going to implement this project in the future, after our engagement with them. A little bit on the sectors. So like I said, we encourage cities to think of climate in a very cross-sectorial, multi-sector kind of investment. So if a city is thinking of energy efficiency, renewable energy, we try to bring them to incorporate affordable housing, but also elements of green buildings, eco buildings. If they're talking about, we get a lot of projects that are, we have an old landfill that we want to turn into a green area. Okay, let's do that, but let's incorporate sustainable urban mobility. Let's incorporate some adaptation, resilience projects, bringing, for instance, nature-based solutions, and so on. We try to make cities to be very ambitious, because what we are looking for are like not pilot projects, but big projects that will gain the attention for potential funders in the future as well. I have a few examples here, and I'm sorry, this is a presentation I put together very quickly. I don't know if I have examples from the region, but I can sure bring some and share with you in the future. But just for you to understand where are we working and what we've been doing. For instance, in Indonesia, we're working with this 2 cities in building all of the analysis for cost benefits in green and energy efficiency construction, but also creating the guidelines so that they can approve and create new development that is green, energy efficient, resilient, and inclusive in the cities in all Indonesia. So we're working a little bit like Elaf said, we are working on aligning the city, what the city is doing, also with the national guidelines as well in the country. A little bit in Podgorica as well, working in a very comprehensive mapping of the public buildings that could be identified as something for green roofs, green facades, improving energy efficiency, all this looking to tackle the heat island effects and also flooding risks in the city. In Ukraine, we're working in supporting some more climate-friendly street design, fostering active mobility. This is a city that is very heavy, dependent on cars. So doing all the mapping for a change into a more sustainable mobility. In Rio and Campinas in Brazil, where I'm from, we're working on creating these linear parks that will connect the city with different green areas, bringing some nature-based solutions, and also doing all the economic modeling, financial modeling for these parts in these two cities. For cities to apply for the GAP fund, it's quite simple. They have to submit an expression of interest that is on our website. But what I wanted to also mention is that the GAP fund has partnered with the Global Covenant of Mayors to support cities in building these applications. The application is not rocket science, but we know that sometimes cities have lack capacity to really frame their ideas into some sort of application. What we're trying to understand from them at this stage of the application is really like, what is your main challenge? If you're working with drought or with floods, or what is your main challenge, and what is your idea to tackle those challenges? What is your idea of a project, and how can we help? What kind of support do you need? So I'm not going to go through the submission process, but I wanted to leave my details here for any city that is looking to apply for the GAP fund. Please write to us. We can discuss your idea of a project, and then we can help you go through the process of applying for the GAP fund, so that we can have a more chance to support the city in being successful in getting this support. So I hope this is clear. Very happy to answer any questions. Reem, back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Helena, for this presentation. It's really informative, and from here we also encourage cities to apply, and we can work together to support also cities in this regard. And actually, it's also beneficial how this gap fund is not only addressing the financial gaps, but also prioritizing projects that has this lasting and meaningful impact on climate resilience. Like you choose specific eligible sectors and projects. So thank you again for this contribution. So now we have with us in person Ms. Ebru Erguner from Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality. How do you see the intersection of project management and sustainability in the context of climate resilient infrastructure? And considering your experience in the reporting process to various platforms, could you share insights on the key challenges and effective strategies for integrating sustainability into infrastructure projects, particularly on the face of climate change?
Thank you very much for the questions. Actually, because I am the only Turkish speaker, then I will prefer to speak Turkish. Merhaba herkese, adım Ebru. İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediyesi İklim Değişikliği Şube Müdürlüğü adına katılıyorum. 5 senedir İBB çalışanıyım ama İBB'den önce bir eski UCLG-MEWA çalışanıydım. Burada konuşmaya davet ettiklerinden ve bu güzel organizasyonu yaptıkları için Sayın Mehmet Bey ve kıymetli ekibine çok teşekkür ederek başlamak istiyorum. Benim için gurur verici burada konuşma yapıyor olmak. Ben bir sürü kıymetli kurum temsilcilerini dinledik. İklim değişikliği konusu ve dirençlilik konusunu onların gözünden dinledik. Ben biraz yerel yönetim olarak bizler neler yapıyoruz ondan bahsetmiş olacağım. Rihim Hanım'ın sürdürülebilirlik sorusuyla başlayayım. Biliyorsunuz 2 Ağustos tarihi bu sene Dünya Limit Aşım Günü olarak belirlendi. Bu demek oluyor ki bu 2 Ağustos tarihinden itibaren biz bir sonraki yılın dünyasının kaynaklarını kullanıyoruz. Yani bir dünya değil 1,5 dünyamız varmışçasına hızlıca tüketiyoruz. Hal böyle olunca da kaynakların bir yerde biteceğinin bilincinde olarak biz yerel yönetimlere de çok büyük roller düşüyor. Sürdürülebilir çözümler bulmak zorundayız. Bunu da akıllı bir şekilde yapmak zorundayız. Bu noktada tabii İBB olarak da bu prensip kapsamında yürüttüğümüz bazı çalışmalar var. Bu akıllı şehirlerin oluşumunda akıllı etkin maliyet çözümlerinden tutun da vatandaşların hizmetlere kolay erişilebilmesi adına birçok çalışmaları sürdürülebilir ve hızlı bir şekilde yapmak zorundayız. Biliyorsunuz iklim krizi artık gerçekliğini her türlü kanıtlamış durumda. Mevsimler birbirlerine geçmiş durumda. Olağandan çok daha farklı yağışlar, kuraklıklar ve sıcaklıklar görüyoruz. Bizim çalışmalarımızda da İstanbul'u bekleyen iklim riskleri arasında en önde gelenleri arasında kuraklığı, değişen sıcaklık değişimlerini ve yağışlardaki azalmayı ve 2100 yılına kadar uzun vadeli senaryolarımızda deniz seviyesinde de bir miktar artma olacağını gördüğümüzü söyleyebilirim. Bu noktada biz dirençli şehir olmak için neler yapıyoruz özetleyecek olursam da uluslararası ağlara üyeliklerimizin bize çok ciddi bir vizyon kattığını söyleyebilirim. Çünkü biliyorsunuz hani Türkiye'de iklim değişikliğiyle alakalı bir eylem almada yerel yönetimlerin üzerine düşmüş henüz resmi yasal bir zorunluluk yok. Şu an bildiğimiz kadarıyla zaten bakanlığımızda mevzuat ve kanun üzerine, iklim kanunu üzerinde de çalışıyor ama biz İBB olarak uluslararası ağlar üyeliklerimizin bize çok ciddi bir vizyon kattığını söyleyebiliriz. Tüm iklim hikayemiz aslında Compact of Mayors'a 2015 yılında üye olmamızla başladı. Helena Hanım'ın da temsil ettiği GCOM 2016 yılında Covenant of Mayors ve Compact of Mayors birleşerek Global Covenant of Mayors olduğundan artık GCOM'un da resmi üyelerinden biri olarak anılmaya başladık. Ve GCOM üyesi olarak da her sene CDP'ye, onların uluslararası raporlama platformuna bizim iklim çalışmalarımızı raporluyoruz. Bu bize çok ciddi bir itici güç oldu. Çünkü 2015 yılındaki bu üyelik kapsamında ilk eylem planımızı 2018 yılında yayınlamış olduk. İlkler her zaman kıymetlidir tabii ki. Onun üzerine koya koya gittiğimiz bir yol oldu bizim için. Bu eylem planımızdan sonra 2019 yılında da tüm dünyada 2050 yılında karbon nötr olma hedefi konuşulurken, Paris Anlaşması'nın gerekliliği konuşuluyorken biz de İBB olarak 2050 yılında karbon nötr bir şehir olmayı hedefleyen Deadline 2020 taahhütünü kabul ettik. Bunu da biliyorsunuz C40 inisiyatifinde başlatılan bir program. C40'ın da Türkiye'deki ilk ve tek üyesi İBB, İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediyesi. Biz C40 üyeliğimiz kapsamında bu dokümanı imzaladığımız için artık 2018 yılındaki eylem planımızı revize etme ihtiyacı duyduk. Ve bu kapsamda da aslında tam da Helena Hanım'ın bahsettiği yanılmıyorsam Climate City Gap Fund'dan C40 bizi yararlandırmış oldu ve bize bir teknik destek sağladı. Biz eylem planımızı C40'ın teknik desteğiyle birlikte hazırlamış olduk ve 2021 yılında da yayınladık. Ondan bir sene sonra da bir yıllık izleme raporu yayınladık. Bu bizim için bir ilkti İBB tarihinde. Yani iklim çalışmaları kapsamında İstanbul'da neler yapıldı, neler yapılmadı bunların bir izlemesini yayınladığımız bir izleme raporu yayınladık. Bunun hepsini web sitemizde bulabilirsiniz iklim.istanbul'da. CDP raporlamalarımızı 2015 yılından itibaren her sene yapmaya başladık bu uluslararası ağlarımıza üyelik kapsamında ve bu sene ilk defa A listesi en yüksek skor olan A puanını alarak A listesindeki şehirlerden biri olduk. Bu da ne demek oluyor? Dünyadaki 113 şehirden biriyiz ve bu da iklim çalışmalarımızı diğer şehirlere göre 4 kat daha fazla efor sarf eden şehirler olarak sınıflandırılmamıza sebep oldu. Bu bizim için büyük gurur vericiydi. Aynı zamanda UCLG-MEWA'ya üyeliğimiz, UCLG gibi, İKLİ gibi, C40 gibi büyük kurumların kurumlarla birlikte çalışmak, diğer network yaptığımız şehirlerle bir arada olmak ve oradaki iyi uygulamaları buralara taşımak bize çok büyük vizyon ve başarı getirdiğine inanıyoruz. Sektörel olarak eğer örnekler vereceksem onun öncesinde bu arada biz kurumsal envanterimizi de yine geçen sene ilk kez hesapladık. Her yılda şehir bazında yıllık sera gazı envanterimizi kendi müdürlük personelimiz olarak bizler hesaplıyoruz. Ve C40 tarafından da GPC Basic standardına göre de onaylatıyoruz. Bu da İBB'yi yani diğer şehirlere göre lokomotif yapıyor aslında. Çünkü her sene envanter hesaplayan zannediyorum Türkiye'de başka belediye yok. Bu noktada da önemli bir yol kat ettik. Sektörel örneklere verecek olursam, mesela çevre alanında vatandaşlarımızın hava kalitesini izlemesi, değişen hava koşulları, iklim koşullarına göre hava parametrelerinin, kirlilik değerlerini görebileceği mobil bir aplikasyon geliştirdik. Vatandaşlar yapacakları aktivitelere göre lokasyonları seçerek oraya hangi aktivite bazlı gitmesi gerektiğine bir mobil aplikasyon üzerinden karar verebiliyor ve orada sarı, turuncu, yeşil olarak ve kırmızı olarak kirlilik parametrelerini günlük hatta saatlik olarak gözlemleyebiliyor. Hava kalitesini saatlik olarak izliyor ve iyileştirmek için çeşitli stratejiler geliştiriyoruz. Atık alanında atıktan enerji eldesini yakma tesisimizi açarak geçen sene ilk defa yakma tesisimizi devreye aldık. Buradan ciddi bir enerji eldesi ettik. Daha önce biyometanizasyon tesisinden de zaten enerji elde ediyorduk. Tesis hem kendi enerji ihtiyacını karşılıyor bir de şebekeye 3000 hanenin elektriğini karşılayacak derecede de bir enerji eldesi yapıyor. İklim değişikliğiyle mücadelede enerji tüketimi çok önemli bir nokta. Biz İBB'nin İstanbul'un tüm şehir genelindeki emisyonlarına baktığımızda enerji tüketimlerinin %65'e yakın olduğunu görüyoruz. Her sene artışı, azalımı dikkatli inceliyoruz ama enerjinin ciddi anlamda sürekli artış gösteren bir sektör olduğunu söyleyebilirim. Bu noktada enerji üzerine özel stratejiler geliştiriyoruz. Yani atıktan enerji üretimimiz, tesisin kendi enerji ihtiyacını karşılaması, bunu şebekeye vermesi bizim için önemli bir örnek. Aynı zamanda İSKİ bizim su ve kanalizasyon idaremiz de kendi 2 tane tesisinde solar panel tesisleri kurdu ve oradan enerji eldesi yapıyor. Ve İBB'nin çeşitli binalarında da yine güneş enerjisi panelleri, solar paneller koyarak olabildiği kadar enerji eldesini yapmayı, tesis içinde kullanmayı, artarsa da şebekeye vermeyi benimseyerek bu bir şekilde bu krize uyumlanmaya ve emisyonlarımızı azaltmaya çalışıyoruz diyebilirim. Atıkla alakalı çöp kapar cihazları bir özel sektör işbirliğiyle CİP çöp kaparları denizlere bırakarak denizdeki kirliliği temizlemeye başladık. Bu da yine önemli bir girişimdi bizim için. Kirliliği azaltmaya yönelik ve oradaki biyoçeşitliliği, ekosistemi korumaya yönelik. Oradan da ciddi dönüşler aldık başarı anlamında. Ulaşım alanında ilk defa sürdürülebilir kentsel hareketlilik eylem planını yayınladık. Bu da yine bir özel sektör ve kamu işbirliği örneği olarak gerçekleşti ve uluslararası bir kurumun desteğiyle birlikte yaptık bunu da. Orada da insan ve yaya odaklı ve trafik güvenliğini odağına alan bir ulaşım planıydı diyebilirim. Su ve atık su alanına gelecek olursam bir sürü ileri biyolojik arıtma tesisi devreye aldık ve buradaki su kayıp kaçak oranlarının ciddi oranda azaldığını söyleyebilirim. Çünkü uyum konusuna bakıldığında yine suyla alakalı stratejilerin çok önde geldiğini söyleyebiliriz. Bizim de İBB'nin kurumsal envanteri incelendiğinde en fazla enerji tüketiminin su sektöründe olduğunu, yani İSKİ'deki kullanılan enerji ve pompalar vesaire, yine onu azaltmaya yönelik stratejiler su alanında gerçekleştirdik diyebilirim. Su kayıp kaçaklarını nasıl önledik? Akıllı sayaçlar, akıllı izleme yöntemleriyle birlikte anlık olarak sisteme uyarı geliyor ve biz oradaki kayıp kaçağı görüp müdahale edebiliyoruz. Bu şekilde de ciddi oranında azaltmış olduk su kayıp kaçaklarını. Enerjiyle alakalı yine bu sene yayınlanmak üzere web sitemizde sürdürülebilir enerji ve iklim eylem planını tamamladık. Bu eylem planının diğer iklim değişikliği eylem planlarından farklı şuydu. Direkt uyum üzerine daha fazla odaklandık diyebilirim. Azaltım kısmı da var ama burada kıyı selleri, iç seller, habitat bozulması, biyoçeşitlilik ve kentsel ısı adası etkisine dair İstanbul genelinde harita çalışmaları yaptık. Onlar da çok yakında yayınlanacak. Orada da geleceğe dair senaryolar hazırlayarak İstanbul'u ne bekliyor, ne gibi önlemler alabiliriz'i gördüğümüz iyi bir yol haritası oldu açıkçası bizim için. Hem de dediğim gibi enerji İstanbul'da hem konutlardan hem özel binalar ve kamu binalarından totalde %63, %64'e varan bir emisyona sahip. Bu emisyonu azaltmak için de artık bir yol haritası, bütün paydaşlar olarak bir arada çalışmamızı gerektirecek bir mekanizma da kurmamız gerekiyor. Bu noktada bizim için iyi bir yol haritası oldu diyebiliriz. Bir diğer eylem planı Yeşilşehir Eylem Planı CİKEP. Bizim İBR'de Avrupa İmar ve Kalkınma Bankası teknik desteğiyle yaptığımız bir iş. Bu sene 2023 yılında Mayıs ayında başladık bu işe. ARUP ve İBR'de desteğiyle birlikte yürütüyoruz. İBB tarafından bizim müdürlüğümüz koordinatör. Şu an eylemleri belirleme aşamasındayız. Buradan da duyurmuş olayım. Siz paydaşlarımızla birlikte dış ve iç paydaş çalıştayları düzenleyeceğiz. Herkese bu duruma katmaya, olabildiğince katılımcılık anlayışına dayalı bir eylem planı hazırlamaya çalışacağız diyebilirim. Hanımefendi de 2030 hedeflerinden bahsetti. Biz de İBB olarak bu zamana kadar anlattıklarım hep 2050 hedefleriydi ama yeni bir inisiyatif olarak Net Zero Cities kapsamında İBB de var artık. 2030'da bu hedefi çekmek, karbon nötr olmak. Hedefin çok iddialı olduğunu farkındayız ama bu noktada bütün paydaşlarımızla olabileceğinin en iyisini yapmaya çalışmak için çalışacağız. Bu henüz yeni bir girişim. Dünyada zaten 2030'u yeni konuşmaya da başlıyor. İBB Türkiye'nin nüfus olarak da yani en büyük, hatta Avrupa'nın en kalabalık şehri. Tabii ki emisyonları 2030'a kadar azaltmak nasıl olur? Ciddi bir bilimsel çalışma gerektiriyor. Bu noktada aksiyon, yatırım ve taahhüt planlarına çalışmaya başlayacağız çok yakın zamanda. Bu noktada da yine paydaşlarımızı davet ediyor ve onlarla ortak akıl şeklinde bütün çalışmalarımızı yürütüyor olacağız. Bu bizim için aslında challenge kısmından bahsedecek olursak hem data toplama hem bir eylem ortaya konduğunda o eylemin gerçekleştirilmesi için yerel yönetimlerin yetki anlamında bazı kısıtlamaları var. Mesela toplu taşımaya Türkiye'de belediyelerin yetkisi var ama özel araçlara yok mesela. Ya da kamu binalarına evet var ama özel binaların elektrik tüketimiyle ilgili yerel yönetimlerin belli bir yükümlülüğü, yani nasıl söyleyebilirim, belli bir sorumluluk alanına giren ya da cezai yaptırım uygulayabileceği bir nokta yok. Bu noktada da üst ölçekle birlikte çalışmak durumundayız. Hem ulusal hükümet hem yerel yönetimler hem de global çaptaki tüm inisiyatifler bir hedefe ulaşmanın, başarıya ulaşmanın birlikte çalışmayla olabileceğinin farkındayız. Bu sebeple tüm paydaşlarımızla birlikte çalışıyoruz. Dirençlik çalışmalarımıza bu şekilde örnek verebilirim. Son olarak da yine misyonun uyum kısmında Net Zero Adaptation ağına da üye olduğumuzu söylemek istiyorum. Bu noktada da yine aynı ekipte uyum kısmına da yine çalışıyoruz. Uluslararası tüm gelişmeleri de takip ediyoruz olarak özetleyebilirim. Teşekkürler.
Thank you. Thank you,
Welcome.
Mrs. Bell.
Welcome.
Thank you for sharing the project of a very big municipality like Istanbul municipality. I'm sure cities can learn from these best practices. So we're running out of time. Before we finish, I would like to ask our audience if you have any questions to our panelists. Yes, Mr. Ramadan.
Herkese iyi günler. Güzel sunumlar için teşekkür ediyoruz. Çok istifade ettik. Benim sorum Ebrar Hanım olacak. Biz Ankara Büyükşehir Belediyesi'ne de C40'tan bir davet geldi. Ve başkanımız da üye olalım, iyi bir şeye benziyor dedi. Sonra ben incelediğimde birçok kriterlerde taahhütte bulunmamız gerekiyor. Ama o taahhütlerin hepsi Türkiye'deki yerel yönetim belki idari yapısından dolayı birçok şey bizim elimizde değil. İşte bakanlıkların etkisinde olan var, valiliklerin etkisinde olan var. Biraz önce size bahsettiğiniz pek çok şey bizim elimizde değil. Dolayısıyla biz imtina ettik böyle bir taahhütte bulunmaktan ve üye olmadık. Siz şimdiye kadar bu taahhütlerinizi tutturabiliyor musunuz? Zorlandığınız yerler var mı? Yani pişman mısınız yoksa hala devam ediyorsunuz?
Çok gerçekçi bir soru oldu aslında. Tabii ki dediğim gibi yetki anlamında belediyeler hiçbir şey yapmamaktan en azından bir şey yapmak iyidir felsefesiyle aslında 2015 yılında da yola çıktık. Hani bir sıfırdan büyüktür mantığıyla. Bir şeyler yapılmak zorunda, en azından bir yol haritası çıkarılmış olması bile, paydaşlarımıza nasıl başlayacağımızı söylememiz bile bizim için kıymetli olarak başladık. Hedeflerin gerçekleştirilmesi noktasında bakıyoruz sektör sektör. Envanter hesabından bahsetmiştim ya. Mesela atık bizim kendi yetki alanımız içinde. Devreye aldığımız tesislerle ve elde ettiğimiz enerjilerle atık sektöründe emisyon azaltımı sağlamışız. Ama enerjiye bakıyoruz, ulaşıma bakıyoruz. Araç sayısı günden güne artıyor. Binalarda tüketim günden güne artıyor. Bizim nasıl söylesem resmi olmayan rakamlara göre 20 milyona yakın, hatta 20 milyon üstünde günlük turist sayısıyla birlikte nüfusumuz var. Nüfus günden güne artıyor. Elimizde olmayan kontrol dışı sebepler var. Ama dediğim gibi tabii ki oralarda artış var. Uyum kısmıyla alakalı ciddi bir yol aldığımız şu sebeple söyleyebilirim. Her sene size bir raporlama yükümlülüğü getiriyor uluslararası ağlar. Yapmazsanız size herhangi bir ceza yükümlülüğü yok. Sonuçta gönüllülük inisiyatifine bağlı. Siz belediye olarak her sene o raporlama ayı gelene kadar birimlerinizden data toplayıp bir şeyler yapmaya hem de görünür olmaya da çalıştığınız için aslında size itici bir güç oluyor. Biz mesela CDP'ye ilk başladığımızda A puanla başlamadık. C, B, A şeklinde gitti ve şu an 113 şehirden biri olduk. Bunu uluslararası ağların bize itici güç olarak yapmasından kaynaklı olduğunu söyleyebilirim. Yani o anlamda bir pişmanlık yok ama yapılması gereken çok şey olduğunu görmemiz için de ciddi bir adım oldu diyebilirim. Ankara'nın da üyeliğini duymuştum bu arada ama hala üyeliğinizin olmadığını biliyordum. Şimdi de teyit etmiş oldum. Evet, iklim daire başkanlığınız da var. Hı hı. Yok hayır, herhangi bir yaptırımı yok. Yani sadece her sene bir raporlama yükümlülüğü var. Raporlama da illa rakamsal bir veriler değil. Aslında Ankara Büyükşehir Belediyesi'nin mesela bugünkü sunumlarda da bahsedildi. Yapılan çalışmaların çoğu SDG'lere, sürdürülebilir kalkınma hedeflerine katkısı var. Dolayısıyla siz iklimle alakalı yaptığınız çoğu çalışmada katkı sağlıyorsunuz. İlla azaltım sağlamak zorunda değilsiniz. Uyum çalışmalarınızla da ön plana girebilirsiniz. Azaltım kısmınız biraz daha düşük kalır ama uyuma yaptığınız yatırımlarla siz bu krize hazırlıklı hale gelirsiniz diyebilirim. O yüzden bir pişmanlık söz konusu bizim adımıza yok. Rica ederim.
So do we have another question? So I would like to invite Dr. Mehmet Duman to present the plaquettes for our panelists. Thank you for your participation.
Before the dinner, free time, we have a house, maybe house.
Group photo? Thank you, everyone. So Fatih Municipality is inviting you to dinner. The bus will leave from here to the dinner place. بلدية الفاتح تدعوكم إلى العشاء. سيتحرك الباص من هنا. when ne zaman?
Yemek aldı, şimdi buradan çıkışta herkes otobüse gidiyor.
Now we will move. وبكرة رح يجي الباص على الفندق على الساعة 9 يكون الكل جاهز. So tomorrow the shuttle will be there at the hotel at 9. So I hope everyone will be ready at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reem. Goodbye.